Okay, I uploaded a sheet of our basketball scorebook to show you how simple it actually is to keep score. And that way, if you are in a position where you volunteer or have to fill um, some volunteer obligations and you're stuck on the scorebook, it's really not a difficult thing to do. In fact, the scoreboard is probably where more anxiety would come from because you got to be able to start and stop the clock at the right time. And if you put the wrong score up, everybody in the building's going to notice. With the book, we can make little mistakes here and there, and we have time to correct it. But the book is um, what's going to override the scoreboard. So the book tallying, as far as the score goes, is uh, is more important. Now, we're going to go over this really quickly. When we sit down, we see at the top here, it's going to say home, and we're just going to put in Cyclones in the home spot right there. And then each coach is going to have one of these sheets right here. Player numbers will be on the side, players will be in the middle. You'll have the grades there, you have all this other stuff. All that matters is that the player numbers are right here, and that's what's going to go into this spot right here. So if we take the sheet that I have right there, we've got number 31 will be on that spot, and then 13 will be below it. And then we'll do 5, and then we'll do 21, 25, 15. I'll just keep rolling with this one, 23. These numbers will obviously be in the box. So each one of these lines going all the way across is going to correspond with each individual player. Okay, why that's important is because if we look to the spot, let's erase this right here. If we look to the spot just to the right of these numbers, we're going to see the fouls right here. So this whole column right here, or whole section right there, is going to be the personal fouls for each individual player. So let's say 31, I went too far there. Let's say 31 is gets a foul in the game. The ref will say 3-1, white, green, whatever the home team is. Foul. You're going to come in here and you're going to check off that 31 has a foul. So that's the personal fouls for 31. Those will stay throughout the game. And then you're going to come down here into team fouls. And all you're going to do is you're going to add a little scratch there for one team foul. So you'll keep a running total. If number 5 gets a personal foul, you do a personal foul for number 5 and a team foul for the Cyclones. That'll keep a running total. Notice there's the first half and the second half. The reason why we want to keep a running total for the team is because once the team gets a certain amount of fouls, they will enter what's called a bonus, where depending on how many fouls they get, they'll be shooting free throws. So there will be a running total for the first half. And once the first half's over, this running total is done. And then we start running total in the second half, and it's got to correspond with the fouls up top. Now, let's scan back a little bit. So that's all you have to do with keeping track of fouls. It's just this spot and this spot. Now, if we scan back, let's take a look at points. So let's say, very simple, the easiest way you can do it is a basket goes in, we put 2 points up on the scoreboard for the home team, and you go down to this scoring section, which is going to be this whole huge thing. We're not going to use it all, but this whole huge thing down at the bottom. Score, let's say we get 2 points. Easiest way you can do it and keep track is we just do a little scratch right there. We're going to scratch off that it's 2 points. And then they score again. We're going to scratch off that it's 4 points and then 6 points. And then maybe they hit a 3 and now there's 9 points. Simplest way you can do it. We can go one step further with that. And let's say 31 scores 2 points. We do a little scratch right down there. And then we put a little 2 right there. That's not going to look good. But we put a little 2 right there in the box for first quarter for 31. Now we can keep track of each individual player, how many points they got per quarter, and so on and so forth. It doesn't take a lot more work to do that, but you also have to be able to spot who shot it, what number they're wearing, and then put that in. And sometimes, depending on how fast the game goes, it's easy to catch. Sometimes it's not. But you do have time to make those adjustments. The other thing you could do is, instead of putting a little dash down here, we can actually put the player's number. We can just say, hey, there's 31 down there. So the 31 got the 2 points right there. And then you can make your 2 up there, and you can get even fancier as you go. But what's most important within keeping score here is we track the fouls, because the fouls can play a significant role in playing time for players, as well as extra free throws. We keep track of them here. We keep track of them here. The other thing is, the score in the scorebook will override what the score on the scoreboard looks like. We obviously need those two to match. But if we're in communication with the scorebook and the scoreboard, and we just know that, hey, there's 2, there's 4, was that a 3? That was a 3. Okay, there's 7. And we just keep tracking through, then you'll be able to stay on pace with it without having to do a whole lot of extra work. Once the game is over, we can tally the score up here by quarter. Everything we're doing on this page, the visiting team will be on this page, so it'll be the exact same thing. But at the end of the game, all I'll do is I'll write, if I didn't use any spot in here, I'll just write out here, win 24-2. And then that way, when we open the book, we can look at it and say, okay, this was a clear win. This is what we had here, and everything adds up perfectly fine. If you have any other questions, or you want to come in, or you want to sit with somebody and kind of work with somebody on catching up to speed on this, you're more than welcome to. But that is about as simple as it gets, and I hope that this helps you and makes you want to contribute in the scorebook area. See you later.